rid of all the police. Cute.
Hi, everybody. They better not hit me for that music because I got
I
that
know,
off of
I was just
YouTube.
thinking.
It's free list. This one's for free. I even put the little thingy in the
I
bottom.
think that the writer is dead, so I think you're okay.
Yeah, I hope so. But did you know that that was written by a Ukrainian musician?
Oh,
Really?
No, I did
Carol of the
not.
Bells was written
Okay.
in the early 1900s by a Ukrainian musician. And then years later, they added words to it. But in the
Oh,
beginning, it was just the music, and it was a Ukrainian carol that he wrote for Christmas time.
Apparently, it's so popular. I've heard at least 25 versions this December of that, and they're all
Yeah.
so beautiful, really beautiful.
Everybody,
Yeah.
my favorite a cappella group, the bass singer, does his own stuff solo
Yeah.
too. And he just did Carol of the Bells. It just blew
Yeah.
my socks off
Yeah.
because he
that's
hits
awesome.
notes that are like under the basement floor. It's like, how the hell does he do that? And then he'll shoot up into the rafters. It's like, oh my God. The man has a 5-octave range. And I don't know how he does that. But anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to Sisters of the Mystical Tarot.
And it is
And I have with me, yes, we
sisters.
all have our sister's shirt on.
And Marina's will be there before the new year, I think. So
Fingers crossed. And tonight we're
we can thank the Canada Post for that.
That's right.
Yeah, we can.
Tonight I have with me the beautiful Marina from Heart Centered Tarot.
She is.
Hello.
Aley or Alice from Heart and Soul Connected. And the beautiful Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. And of course, I'm your hostess, Shari, Voices from the Swamp. The links to our channels are all in the description box below. Please make sure you go and subscribe to everybody's channel. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed to mine. I just went over 3,500. So I've been celebrating for the last couple of days. Going, yay! So,
good for you. Good for you.
On to 4,000. Let's see. Maybe I'll hit it by the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
I just got over 4,500. So yeah, 5,000 is my and with everyone's help out there, you guys get in touch with your friends and say, listen, you don't have to ever watch this woman. Just go subscribe. And then make sure that you go over to Aley's channel and Val's channel and subscribe there as well. You never have to watch.
Yeah, you did, Shari. Congratulations.
Member Sandy, welcome, Sandy. Yeah, so make sure we all have memberships either on our channel or on our website. Go to each person's stuff to find out how to join. And there's all kinds of little goodies you get extra when you're a member. And and it helps fund us so that we can keep doing what we're doing and pay for everything, because it costs money to have StreamYard and Canva and YouTube and the whole Zoom and whatever else we use. It all takes money. So I am just almost to the point where I'm almost breaking even. I'm pulling in as much as I'm putting out. So I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. At least I'm
Shari, I think you got to be careful saying that you're putting out, because it may be taken the wrong way.
Well, hey, whatever pays the bills, okay?
Oh, well,
This from Aley. This is the Christmas card that I got from Aley.
But
y'all can imagine
there's a little bit of that.
Yeah. I ran out of them, and I sent Kelly from Cali Healer one that says, thank you for putting up with my shit. Your kindness does not go unrecognized.
Nice.
The minute
That's
I
cute.
opened the card, I didn't even have to look to see who it was
I
from.
I
When
I
I saw the
saw
card, I
this.
went,
This
"Oh,
is
that's from
Aley.
Aley."
Yes, I always I proceed
Yeah.
when I come.
You know,
Yep.
I remember years ago, one of the cards that was going around at Christmas, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And it was something, a little insert that you could put inside a Christmas card.
Mhm.
Very rudimentary, Christmas tree, Santa Claus, whatnot. And it said, um, times are tough, things are hard. Here's your effing Christmas card.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Maybe they'll
Yeah.
make another go round this next Christmas.
Really,
It'll be
Yes.
really.
appropriate.
My favorite birthday card is "Happy Birthday," and it's a kid with his finger buried up his nose, and it says, "I
Oh.
picked this one for you."
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Oh
Lovely,
gosh.
lovely,
I had bought a
lovely to
card
be
for
here with
Lewis when
everyone.
he was in the Navy, and I sent it to him, even though it was like 4 months from his birthday. I found the card, and I was like, I had to send it. And so he gets the card. He's on the ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They finally get mail call, and mail catches up with him. And he's like, "Oh wow, I got a card from my mom. Why did I get a card from my mom?" He's looking at it, he pulls it out, and a couple of his buddies are there, and they're like, "Wow, it's your birthday?" And he's like, "No, my birthday's not till February. I don't know, my mother's tripping out or something." And on the front was like this little teddy bear all in leather on a motorcycle. And when you open the card, it played Bad to the Bone.
Oh no.
Da-na-na-na, you know.
Yeah.
Because when he
Oh,
was
that's
a
great.
toddler, he would run around the house in his underwear playing air guitar, singing that song.
Oh my
But he would
God.
sing it, "I'm bad to the bone, Daddy. I'm bad to the bone."
Oh, that's great.
And when I
That's
saw the
great.
card, I just had that flashback, and I said,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah,
I have to buy that." And
that's
I sent
perfect.
it to him, and of course, everybody on the ship thought it was hilarious because then he had to explain why his mother sent him that card
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that song. You know, they were kind of trying to make it make sense. And so we had to then tell the story. Well, you know,
Yeah.
and so he got teased about that for the longest time. But
Mhm.
I love a good card. Sometimes I love to just sit and browse in the
Yes.
Hallmark card
Yeah,
section and
I do.
just
Yeah.
see what they come up with next. I mean, I actually worked at a card store in Phoenix when I first moved to Arizona, and that's all we sold were greeting cards. Every kind of damn card you wanted to get, we had.
Mhm.
And
That's
it was
great.
our job, to keep the cards neat and all together. And you'd get
Yeah.
one row
Rotating.
done and you'd move on to the next. Before you get halfway through the next row, the first row would be all messed up again.
Uh-huh. That's
It
true.
was so irritating. It was like
Mhm.
you pull it out, you look at it, you put it back in the same slot you got it from. How hard is that to do, right? But
Yeah.
oh no, they couldn't do that. So
Yes.
anyway, tonight we are going to discuss what are some of our Christmas traditions that we continue to carry on. Things that our parents did, our grandparents did, our great grandparents did. Um, I know in my house, it was Thursday, Thanksgiving, we served turkey. Christmas was always roast beef, and then Easter was ham. And that was sacrosanct. You didn't shift from that or you would be disowned. That was the order and that was the food that was served. And
Mhm.
so it's like this past week I've been knocking myself out trying to find a decent roast that wasn't $50 damn dollars for a
Yeah.
piece of meat this big around. It's like, okay,
Oh
come
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
y'all got to give it up here. Or that wasn't 80% fat and a little bit of meat. Um, But that was just something we always did. That was the order of the food served for the holidays.
Mhm.
And I've kept that tradition up. Um, we also always had one gift we were allowed to open on Christmas Eve. And it had to be a little small gift. And it had to be something that your parents picked out for you to open so that you didn't open something that would relate to what Santa brought the next morning and would give it away. So it was usually like pajamas or slippers or something along those lines. So we were always allowed to open one gift. And then a tradition that my son and I started, we still do it every year. Every Christmas Eve, we watch Die Hard together. That's our Christmas movie. So, yes, it's a Christmas movie. Don't argue. So,
Yeah.
I know it's a big argument. But, and that's been our standing date. Even when he was in the Navy, we would watch it together via phone because he would be wherever he was at and I would be at home and we'd watch it at the same time
Wow.
together.
That's
And
dedication, Sherry.
that's
Isn't
dedication. So
Yeah.
one of the few things that we really just gelled on was that movie. And yes, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And so, and other than that, the only other thing that my grandmother and my mother did that I did not keep up doing just because I'm not arts and crafts abled, I'm more arts and crafts challenged. And that was the making of the paper mache chains you wrap around the tree
Oh,
for the
yeah.
garland.
Uh-huh.
You'd cut out strips of paper and interlock them and glue them. And mine always came out such a mess. It was just like this. Put it on the
A friend
back
of
of the
mine
tree and
has
nobody can see it.
popcorn ones that she's had on her tree for 38 years.
Oh,
I know. I know. I can't believe they sustained all that time. She takes them out every year, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
amazing.
It just
I
shows
have
you this
ornaments
is stuff
older
we
than
put in our
me.
stomach. It could last forever.
That's
Like
true.
plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
have ornaments as old as me. The oldest, I have two little bitty elves that my mother bought for my first Christmas when I was
Ah,
only like 6 months old. And I still have them. They still go on the tree every year.
cool.
And I've always done the tradition with each ornament you put up, there's the story that goes with it, where it came from, who gave it to
Mhm.
you. It's like my grandmother had, after many years of the hodgepodge Christmas, she finally had her dream Christmas tree, which was the white tree, the white tinsel type tree. And all of the ornaments were blue and silver. It
Oh,
was
pretty.
beautiful. I mean, it
Yeah.
looked
Sure.
like something in Southern Living magazine or something.
Mhm.
And I remember we made her cry. It wasn't our intention. But my brother and I, when she was like, ta-da, she got it all set up. And we just looked at it. We looked at her. We went, that's not a Christmas tree. Where's the real tree at? Our grandfather had to go out and go buy another tree that we could put all the hodgepodge stuff on because that was Christmas to us. But I still have one ornament left from that tree that she did. And so every year I hang it as a remembrance in memory to my grandmother, who I probably hated more than I loved. I mean, I loved her, but I hated her at the same time. We did not get along. But there you go. That's kind of what we've done, over the years. Not really much anything else. The only other thing is my mother has this little clay nativity scene. It's just Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, and it's very simplistic. Like it looks almost like a kid made it, and but something she bought eons ago. Every Christmas she'd take it out, set it under the tree, next to a lighted church that has a bulb inside. You can plug it in with Santa Claus in the doorway, and so she put them under the tree together. And I was always like, Mom, you don't buy into any of that. What's with Mary, Joseph, and Jesus? And she's like, it's just Christmas. I'd be like, okay, good enough for me. So it still comes out every year for Christmas. I put it out too. So, and that's about the only traditions I think that we have kept in our family. Val, why don't you go next?
Okay,
go the
well,
opposite direction tonight. So
Yeah.
it's a funny thing. I have to say, I kind of switched everything up. When my parents got a little bit, they were elderly, it was getting a little hard for them. We'd say, okay, we're headed to grandma's. She had to do all of that. It was just too much. And I started doing Thanksgiving dinner myself and Christmas. But my father had a pet turkey growing up, and he was heartbroken when it got eaten.
Oh,
On
yeah.
purpose. And
Wow.
he just couldn't eat turkey.
I don't
But
blame him.
still, we still had it for Thanksgiving, but for Christmas, prime rib. And this wasn't that my mother made it. I started that tradition for him so he didn't have to have that. Otherwise, it would have been ham, and I'm not a ham eater. So that is something I changed. Having them come to my house and mom not having to do anything anymore. She just had to come, mom and dad. So, and what I served, we changed that up. Other than that, there were a few things that I would make for Christmas, like the bourbon balls and the Russian tea cakes, also known as Mexican wedding cake, cookies, things
Cool.
like that I would do every year, plus popcorn balls, believe it or not, caramel popcorn balls. My kids loved them. Everybody, well, actually, I didn't make the balls. You could just eat it. But anyway, yeah. There really isn't anything I kept the same. When I got to the stage where my son got married, I said, well, this is just silly. Everybody's all trooping over here to eat. And then they're going over to the in-laws and eating there. I said, let's just all eat at one place.
Right.
We all ended up going over to the in-laws, and we all eat there. Till Laura got to the stage where she took over Thanksgiving, and now we all go to her house. So, it's just a fly by your pants kind of thing. And Christmas with the Christmas tree thing for me is just for the kids. All my grandkids are in college. There's not any little kids.
Right.
Now, my daughter-in-law is like a Disneyland kind of lover and loves this kind of creative stuff, loves it. So there'll always be a beautiful tree. It'll always be elegantly done. And, so it's there, very festive. So you always have that ambiance, and she's a great hostess when we go over. Other than that, we don't even have a tree up.
I don't either. Yeah.
We don't have a tree.
Mine's still last year.
So it isn't
down.
Yeah, well, everybody does what is going to tickle their heart and make themselves feel better. And for me, I don't want to have to put it away.
Well, that's me. Yeah, I totally get it, because it falls on us. You put it up, you take it down. What's the point? Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I could just snap my fingers, I'd probably go,
right.
This is decorated. I'm done. And then I could snap my fingers and it's all gone.
It's all in the box.
But I'd be happy. I'm happy anyway, but you know what I mean?
I do. Yes.
At this age, I delight in everyone's delight. Let's put it that way. I enjoy everyone enjoying that season. And it is fun to go see people get excited, like if they go to Starbucks and they have the what is it? They have the special Christmas drinks, the eggnog
and
ones,
the cranberry bliss bar. Oh my God.
Cranberry bliss bar. I've had those. Those are good. So
they are.
As long as it's not pumpkin. Oh my God. I
don't know. I like pumpkin.
Me
too.
I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with everything on the menu is pumpkin.
I'm a pumpkin lover. Yeah, I love it. Love it. You can't do pumpkin wrong. So
I'm just not that crazy about pumpkin.
I get it. Everybody's
That's it for me. That's it for me. I'm pretty dull on the excitement. Yeah.
What about
It
you,
sounds like a good plan.
Alice?
Yes, it sounds yours sounds like. So yeah, I used to always be the one that had everybody at the house. I don't have grandchildren and I never will. I have grand dogs, and we're getting a new grand dog on Sunday that she's going to bring. My son's bringing to Christmas, and it's a mini schnauzer, all white, and it's a little, and he has two others. So there's going to be 7 dogs at my daughter.
Oh, nice.
Three from me, 3 from him, and 1 from her. And so we love our little animals, and we're happy with that. So one of my traditions I did that my daughter kind of kept track of, but my son, I don't know where his is, but when they were born, we started a tradition of buying Hallmark ornaments for them every year. And so when they left to home, they would have ornaments for their own trees. And I can see my daughter's on her tree, that she's the one, and I'm glad she can put it up and take it away and whatever. My son does not put up a tree. His girlfriend hates Christmas. And so it's kind of sad, you know, but we'll all go up there to my daughter's house. So that would be okay. 2 things I found this year that I haven't had since my mother died. And my mother was a big bread maker, but not white bread. I'm talking about like date nut bread and cranberry orange bread. And you take that and you put a little bit of cream cheese on it. Well, Vermont Country Store had that this year. So I've ordered those 2 things, at least for me, because it will bring back memories. And that's always nice.
Yeah.
What else? I also really love listening to Mannheim Steamroller. That's my favorite Christmas group that I enjoy listening to. And we always do stockings because it's fun. And the really difficult thing, if you're new to my family, is that nobody opens a gift at the same time as anybody. Everybody takes their turn, and like sometimes it's like 7 hours later, and you're still opening up little tiny things or whatever. And that's just what I like doing. I just think that it goes so fast, and you don't even know what somebody got if you haven't to see it. So so that's kind of what we do. Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
We don't
And what about you,
adults
Marina?
don't exchange gifts in my family.
You don't exchange them?
No, we don't. We only the kids, and we give kids the gifts, but we don't actually. We stopped that because it got to be too hard.
Well, and I told my kids, please, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I don't need anything either. So
no,
if I do, I can buy it myself. So
that's right.
And you know what? That's just it. When it comes to years and years ago, gift giving was you had a gift for everybody, the milkman, the butcher, the whatever, the babysitter,
hairdresser,
on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point that it was too expensive. So
and it was a chore.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So we narrowed it down to it was just the kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would get for my son, I would get for my nieces and so on. And, that went on until they got to be adults themselves.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I could understand where a lot of the things they were asking for when you would say, well, what would you like for Christmas? Oh, just get me a gift card. And I always thought that, a gift card is almost like you didn't put any thought into it. But then
that's true. But still, everybody loves them.
Yes, because
because it's freedom.
It is freedom. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
yes,
that was we did that until they got a little older, and then it was again just so we don't exchange gifts because we're all at that point in life, and we're all older, and there aren't any little ones where you can kind of go along with the magic of Christmas and Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff. So we don't we don't do the gift thing. And yeah, Chris and I don't put up a tree either, which is we stop. We've got 2 cats and a dog, and a tree is just a stick that's in the house.
It's fun. They can play with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you can't get mad at them for doing what they naturally do.
True.
But one of the things that, yeah, we generally, it's turkey on Christmas and it's ham on New Year's Day. And that the reason that we have ham on New Year's Day is traditionally, or, you know, what went on in my family was that you want to start the year off by knowing that you're moving forward. So mom would always say, whatever you serve on New Year's Day, make sure that the animal always moves forward, never goes back, but always moves forward.
Wow.
So it was, it was ham. And generally, we do the cabbage rolls and ham. And
yum. But you know what? Oh, go ahead. No, you
were going to say one of the things that I started doing for my family, and I did it for probably a good 15, 16 years, was because I am crafty, I started making Christmas decorations so that they would get the Christmas decorations so that as they got older, they could put it on their tree and that kind of stuff. So I always looked forward to picking what ornament I would make. And they were all handmade and really enjoyed the effort that kind of went into it. And it was really nice to be able to see the ornaments on my mom's tree. Now I can see them on my sister's tree. Now with my nieces, as you know, they've got their own homes and whatnot. To see some of those ornaments on
that tree. I know. That's the best part. Yeah, it really is.
Is to kind of share it and make sure that everybody's got some. And I'm thinking, you know, with the girls getting older and now that they have now that they have their own homes and are starting their own traditions, maybe it's time to start that, to include them in that, you know, making an ornament and
absolutely
doing that.
You know, we got to the point though, and our grandkids are just all 4 of them are in college. We have 5, but the 5th one is actually he's just out of college, but still not officially. But we were talking about we've been giving them Christmas and birthday presents, and they're going to be young adults out there in the business world pretty soon. And I said, well, let's keep giving them their Christmas presents and birthday presents till they, actually, we only talked about birthday, but till they get to a working job, they don't need it anymore. Because our money's probably like when my grandma used to send me a check for $5.
Yeah.
Why didn't you check? Why isn't this check cashed?
Yes, I know. Isn't that funny? My aunt used to always
anything
every year when my aunt was alive, she was like my grandmother. She gave me a slip.
Yes.
And the slip was always 3 times larger than what it needed to be. And my mother kept saying, Todd, don't give her a slip anymore. Just like give her, you know, money.
We always give money. The gift is always money. It's money for birthdays and it's money for Christmas. And we've never, their eyes always light up and they always like the money.
Sure.
Yes.
We are not because the minute they look at that gift card, they're thinking, "Oh, I can go get this, or I can go get." It's like I can't keep up with the games that my nephew plays, and I gave years ago.
Figure out.
Trying to remember which game.
Forget about it. You're not going to get what they want when they see that money and they have that money, and maybe some of them need it for gas money. You don't even know.
Maybe,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know one year. There was a hybrid D&D type game that my nephew was playing, and there were you could buy the actual figurines of the whatever it was you created of the avatar. And so he was wanting his own avatar. And so I told him on Christmas Eve, I said, okay, we'll pull it up, put all the stuff on it you want it to have, load it up. And it was like about 30 or 40 bucks, I think, by the time he got through. And I said, okay, here's the card, pay for it. I get to have it. I'm like, yeah. I said, Merry Christmas. This is what you're getting. You're getting your avatar.
That's cool. Yeah.
And, and I let him pay for it himself, just put in the numbers, do this. And I mean, it's been several years ago now. I wouldn't even begin to know where to start today. It's like,
that's why, you can't be in everybody's pocket and know what everyone wants.
That's right.
And it's just easier to give them that freedom to pick. And I've never seen an unhappy face when they got them.
No one ever says
card with a $20 bill in it,
sweater.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody says that. They're happy.
Or even the cards that you open up, there's a $100 bill in it. I mean, those are really nice too. They're very few and far between, but they're really nice when they come in.
Sure.
Because invariably they show up just as you're needing to put gas in the car. Or when you're out of milk and bread for the kids to eat for breakfast in the morning, and little things like that. And I look at that as a gift just as much, as stuff. I mean, I love stuff. Who doesn't love to get stuff, And then I look around and I'm like, where the hell am I going to put this stuff at?
Exactly.
I gave myself my own Christmas present this year. I hired a housekeeper to come clean my house this Saturday.
You did.
You
said you wanted to. Good for you.
And
Good for you.
It's actually the housekeeper we have at work. She takes care of our building. And we were talking about it one morning, and I said, I said, I want to, get somebody to come in. I said, I don't need a lot. I just need like the bathrooms cleaned, the kitchen cleaned, and the floors and the baseboards cleaned. I said, because I can't get down there and do a lot of that stuff. I just physically can't do it.
Well, I can do it, and I don't want somebody to do it for me.
But I mean, when I used to be able to, it wasn't that big of a fight. I would just go ahead and do it, even if I hated it. But we started talking. I said, I've thought about calling the service, but they're so picky about what they can and can't do, and da-da-da. She's like, well, I'll come do it. I'm like, okay, you're
all righty.
And then she tried to be like, oh no, I'm not going to charge you anything. And I was like, well, no. I said, I'm hiring you to do a professional job. I'm going to pay you for your time. I said, that's only fair. And I know she's currently raising 2 or 3 of her grandchildren.
Wow.
Like full time. And I know it's difficult, and it's harder, I mean, she's our age, and now she's got little ones in the house again.
Yeah.
And so
a better person than I am.
I'm telling you, I'd be like, out of luck, Charlie. But
I'm afraid to have to go to agencies and find somebody to clean my house. They charge so much money. It's ridiculous.
And
I mean,
and it's like not the bedrooms. That's the boys.
Yes.
The guys' rooms are their domain, and I'm not touching them.
Yeah.
I just want the bathrooms cleaned, the kitchen cleaned, and the floors and stuff cleaned. I
want my whole house clean.
I would like that too, but there's too much stuff in here and nowhere to put it. So it's like I told her, I said, you're going to be working around piles of stuff that can't be moved, and that's okay. Don't freak out about it. I said, just clean around it.
Shari, there was this one company I looked at their ad. Oh, we'll come, blah blah blah, and then I looked at the fine print. We will not touch a table. If you have anything on it, you have to remove everything from the table. Don't expect us to dust there. And they had all these rules.
They must have been screwed at some point.
To clean the house.
Well, if you go to service, they don't clean windows, they don't scrub toilets, and it's like that's what I need somebody to come do is clean.
I've never seen such a thing in my life. We won't do lists. I just read it and I thought, who's going to call those people?
I know.
Exactly.
No kidding. Yeah.
You'd be amazed at who calls those people to come and do it, and then thinks, "Oh, look at this marvelous deal I got." I'm like, and that's like I was talking to Jackie about it at work. I said, I just don't know who to call. I don't know where
You
to
know,
look.
what you do is you go
She
to
just
the
looked at
church,
me.
you
She
go to
says,
the
"Well, how am
local
I gonna clean
church.
your house?"
Go to like the
So,
local Catholic church with something to stick on the bulletin board.
Mhm.
Need a housekeeper, blah, blah, blah. Here's my phone number. And you're going to get somebody. My best person came from that kind of situation.
yeah.
And yeah,
Well, I figured,
I have to tell you, ladies,
I know
I
she does a
had
good job because I see her take care of our building, and it's a 3-story
that's
building.
good.
She takes care of by
I
herself.
had a friend who hired a housekeeper,
yeah.
and she had to clean the house before the housekeeper came because she didn't
I
want
am
I've
the
known
same
people
way.
like that.
Don't laugh, Aley. Aley, ask my husband. I'd be vacuuming and dusting
you
basement. I
guys
don't
are
want them to think
crazy.
I'm
Oh my
dirty.
God.
And then
She
they come
wouldn't
in
get a
and say,
pedi either. She wouldn't
then
get a
they,
pedicure. She said that
no,
she didn't want people having to deal with her feet. She was very funny that way.
Oh God,
funny. Yep.
no, man!
And you
You
know how
can
much they
send me a
want?
gift card for a pedicure any day of the
No,
week.
Yeah.
they want
Mhm.
like $600 to come in and clean.
Yeah,
They really
Oh my
do
God.
because they'll call it a spring cleaning. If you
Oh,
have them in every month or every 2 weeks, they'll reduce the price.
right.
But
Yeah.
you have them come like once a month or something like that, it's
Mhm.
an astronomical price,
Nope.
for this
yeah.
for the amount of rooms you have them clean.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
That
and
that
Wow.
that's
that
what I
blows my
told
mind.
Jackie
That
when
blows
I
my mind.
hired her.
It
I said,
blows
"I'm
my
not
mind.
looking for a
It's
whole
like you have to
thing."
get a job to get them to do.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
but it's like
geez.
I just, with doing all of this stuff and everything with that and work, and I don't have the time to
I
commit
get it.
like I used to do. And
Yes.
Mhm.
with 3 men, 2 dogs, a cat, and a dragon in the house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you try to keep up with that. I do good to keep the topsoil down.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told
Well,
her,
I hear you.
and you've got
I said,
health
"Please
issues,
don't think
Shari.
poorly of
So,
me." I said, "Because
yeah.
I'm embarrassed for you to see what my house
Yeah.
actually looks like." She's like, "Please."
Yeah, Karen, yeah, you're right. It's pretty expensive here in Las Vegas
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have like how many bedrooms do we have? Like 5 or 6 bedrooms, and we got like 5 bathrooms.
But you don't use
Holy
them all, do
crap.
you? You don't use
Well,
them all.
they still have to be cleaned. They still have to be cleaned because
Yeah.
this is Las Vegas, the dust
Oh, the
capital
dusty.
of the
Okay.
world, where
Yeah.
Sure.
if you left a table for 2 days, you could go like
Mhm.
this with your finger and it would look like you could sew a
Yeah.
sweater with the fiber
Oh
on
my
your
Lord.
fingers.
Wow.
Wow.
It's not like
Yeah.
thin, like dust, like sand. No, it's fiber.
Mhm.
I mean, you
Wow.
have no idea.
That's
I
creepy.
literally watch there are
Creepy.
times when I watch actual tumbleweeds of dog hair roll across the floor.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
okay, I really need to
It might be
sweep.
time now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because both
Absolutely.
dogs are shedders, so they're
Yeah.
both full
Yeah.
hair dogs that shed everywhere. We got the cat that sheds. We got the dragon that just stays in his glass terrarium. And if you used to be able to poke your hand in there and pet him and play with him. Now, if you try to put your hand in there, he bites and he doesn't let go. He's like, those little
Oh.
teeth are sharp, man. He clamps down on that finger, and you're doing this number. You can't get him off.
Wow.
Did
Somebody
you
else
ever
has
see
to
the
come and pry his
geckos
mouth
people
off.
wore as earrings? They would clamp them on.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. No.
Yeah. People would wear them like earrings. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It is
Oh
funny.
my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so
Yeah.
that's my treat to myself this year is like, okay,
Good for you.
I'm
Good for
gonna
you.
pay somebody to come in and do
Mhm.
the worst sections
Yes.
so that I can just kind of maintain from there. And in 6 or 7 months from now, when it gets really bad again, I'll call her
Yeah.
back, come back in and do it
There
again,
you go.
But
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
rely on the guys because they do try.
You know what?
But
Men don't see dirt the same
No,
way
They
they
don't.
don't.
women see dirt.
They
thank
don't.
you.
Their level of
Thank
cleanliness
you.
is not our level of cleanliness. Let's
Yeah.
face it, folks.
That's right.
It's
And
not
Jane,
even in the same galaxy.
No.
Karen's saying Dust City here because building houses and farmland. Yeah, Karen. And
Yeah.
I'm in desert land where
Yeah.
they're building and the dirt is in the air, the sand is in the air, and dust devils are always spinning and stirring it
Yes.
all up. And it's just
You would think that I wouldn't
nightmare.
have that kind of problem being in the swamp, but
Yeah.
there's so much farmland and ranches and stuff around here that there's a constant dust that,
I
it's
never would have thought that because I thought if you had moisture in the air, it would settle the dust molecules down. And
it
here
does
it's
the
so
larger amounts of it, but it still
Oh,
gets everywhere. I mean, I can
yeah.
dust and a week goes by and I can run
Oh,
my
A
fingers
week.
through it.
Mine's in
A
2
week,
days. 2
yeah.
days go by.
Yeah, but when I lived in Phoenix, it was every day I had to dust, because it was
Yeah, so
horrible. But
Phoenix and
yeah,
Las Vegas, I'd say, are pretty on par with the dirt in the air. Yeah,
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 it was hard living
yeah. It's
there.
hard.
That was the one
Yeah.
thing. So and my grandmother, I was just thinking when you were talking about Val, she used to make bourbon balls. She didn't make rum balls. She made bourbon balls.
Mhm.
And she would save the metal coffee cans that she would buy her coffee in back when they put them in
Mhm.
metal cans.
Wow.
And she would decorate the outside of the cans and she would put the bourbon balls in the can to ferment, about a month before Christmas. And I swear to God, you could pop the lid and just stick your nose to the top. You would
Get
get
drunk.
drunk off of just one good swift. You didn't have to eat any of them, and they were pretty potent. But
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to eat any. But it was my grandmother was amazing when it came to the kitchen. That woman could cook anything,
Yeah,
which is
I miss
amazing since she was
That's
an
one thing that
alcoholic and
I
was usually
really
drunk by
miss
lunchtime. But
is, my
she
mom is
could
an
cook anything.
excellent baker, especially at Christmas. Now, she hasn't done it for a number of years because, she's getting older and it's not something
Yeah.
that you do very, very quickly, right?
Yeah.
So I do miss it. I was lucky enough that I found one of the local stores here. It's an Italian store, so they bring in a lot of Italian products from Italy and so on. And I was able to find the same type of walnut roll that she would make. And they carry it, mind you, it's $10 and you might get 5 or 6 slices out of it.
Yeah.
But that is something that I look forward to Christmas, to having a piece of that with a cup of coffee. And it's like, oh, okay.
My
Yeah.
grandmother used to make pecan pralines from
Mhm.
scratch. And it was like usually a 2-day affair. And
Yes.
when she would do them up, I mean, just like when she made gumbo, she would make enough roux to carry us through the winter. Because back then you didn't buy instant roux at the grocery store like I cheat and do
Yes.
now. Back then you had to make it from scratch, and it takes a long time.
Yes, it
And you
does.
stir and stir and stir and stir and stir because you don't want it to scorch, and
Yeah.
but she would make enough and then she would put it off in the mason jars and put it in the freezer. So that whenever we were ready for a pot of gumbo, she'd just take out a jar, pop it in some warm water and let it thaw and have at it. But that woman could cook anything. It was amazing. My mother was a pretty decent cook, but she hated it like me.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm a
gosh, my
decent cook,
mother
but I hate to do it. I just don't
my mother
enjoy
loved to
cooking.
cook. Oh my gosh, I wish I had gotten her enthusiasm for it, but she was an excellent cook and an excellent baker, and so was my grandmother, her mother. Oh my gosh, they would just bake up a storm. So, of course I miss all that, and I just want to sit around and eat it. I don't want to make it.
Make it. Yeah. I had
The
a
one
friend of
thing my
mine.
mother would make for Thanksgiving every year is she would make from scratch yeast rolls. And that was a 2 or 3 day thing because she'd do it. She even had special bowls. I've still got the bowls that she would put the dough in to rise, with the cheesecloth over it. And then she'd come back like the next afternoon and she'd
Yeah.
punch it out and do his thing and put it back in the next size up bowl. Let it let it rise, and she'd do that until it was time for Thanksgiving Day, and then she would roll them out and bake them. And oh my God, they were so good.
You know, when there
I tried to
one
make
day,
them, but
one day there was absolutely nothing yum yum in the house at all, and I was a little kid. My grandmother said, "Oh, I've just got to make some. Can you go out to the tree and pick some lemons?" She just fidgeted around till she needed to make something. It was just she couldn't stand it. So we went out and we picked the lemons off the lemon tree. And we thought, what the hell's she gonna make? Of course, we didn't say that. We were little
Yeah.
kids. What is
Yes,
she gonna
yeah.
make? What could
Yeah.
she possibly pull out of this? There's nothing yum yum to eat in this whole house. And she all of a sudden she whipped up this unbelievable. She had her tea towel out and she had whipped up this amazing, beautiful sponge cake.
Oh my.
She rolled, she rolled the sponge cake up,
Yeah.
and it was just magnificent with this lemon filling inside to die
Ooh.
for. Oh
Mhm.
my God. I've never had anything, and she never made it since. It was just that one time.
Wow.
great-grandmother
It was
my great-grandmother used to make lemon sugar cookies.
the sponge
That
cake.
were
The
so
sponge
good.
cake was the most tender, incredible confection that you would have paid hundreds of dollars for
Sure.
in my
Sure.
estimation.
Yeah.
And the lemon filling was so bright and just the right sweetness. And they were bitter lemons, let me tell you. So I don't know what she did to it, but
Wow.
it's the best thing I ever had.
Yep. My
Awesome.
She would
mom
make
would
things out
she
of
learned
nothing.
from my great-grandmother. My mom would make the lemon cookies, and my grandmother would make homemade lemon meringue pie. And yeah, my
I'm
grandmother
not
used to make
I
all
don't
kinds of
even
stuff.
like lemon meringue pies because I can't stand the meringue on top.
I can't either. I like the
I
lemon part. I could cut the meringue right
Yeah,
off.
you
Yeah,
just really have to throw half the stuff away and just
I
eat
know.
the crust
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't like that. My
And see, I
grandmother would make
love lemon meringue pie. I
see, my
love
grandmother would make the most beautiful meringue you've ever seen in your life, but did I
Mhm.
want to fluffed up egg white stuff? No,
I love
Mhm.
no.
meringue.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it was whipped cream, we'd be talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's what you do
Oh
with
my
the
God.
chocolate pie. So you put the whipped cream on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know there's
I mean,
one of the name brand frozen pie people, and I don't remember now what brand it is, but they make a chocolate silk pie.
like Marie
That
Callender
Marie
or
It's
Callender's has
something
Sara
one.
along
Lee.
those, but it's not Mary Callender. It's a different
Well,
one.
Huh.
Sara
But it's
Lee.
the graham cracker crust
Yeah.
shell
Mm.
with the chocolate. Two different
Mhm.
kinds of chocolate. One's like a heavier, almost a fudgy type of chocolate, and then there's a lighter, more whipped chocolate. Like
Mhm.
it looks like it's been whipped with whipped cream that goes on top, then the whipped cream on top of that, then drizzled with chocolate sauce and little chocolate shavings over the top. It's like buy
But
one of those. If me or my brother buys one of those pies, we have to get two, one for each of us,
yeah,
because
I'm with you on
nobody
that.
else in the house
Yeah.
gets any. We'll sit down and eat the
Yeah.
whole thing. I mean,
I hear you.
both of us.
Katie and Proud says, "How about fresh wild blueberry pie baked in a wood burning stove?"
I love that. Oh my God. Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
That is just,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I mean, a
That's
blueberry
it.
pie like that would be astronomically delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Delicious.
Yeah, I think it's Sara
Yeah,
Lee
it might
too,
be
by the way.
Sara Lee Marie, but no, it's
Yeah.
not Sara Lee either, because I know
Well, the two
theirs.
main ones
It
are
may
Marie
be just it
Callender and
may
Sara
just be
Lee.
a popular brand down here in the South, but
Oh, it might
it's
be just
another brand. It is very similar to the Marie Calendars, but because they usually will run them opposite, like that one brand will be on sale this week, the other brand will be the next week, and they'll rotate them back and forth.
oh.
And I know one of them you could even buy the individual slices. just a regular
Mhm.
pie slice for like $5. I'm like,
Mhm.
well, that's 2 bites. That's not a slice of pie. I mean,
Mhm.
Oh. I like to
it's
well, as I mentioned before, yeah, one of the things that we started doing a number of years ago, and it works out really well, is my sister hosts Christmas dinner,
Mhm.
and my job is to bring the wine and the dessert.
Mhm.
So it's a lovely fair trade. I love it.
yep.
And my when it comes to the dessert, I'm rather particular with the desserts, and I'll generally go either to the Italian store or to one of the. We do have a couple lovely French patisseries around,
Mhm.
and yes, and just pick up. I I always end up buying much more than we need,
Yeah.
but it's like a kid in a candy store. Oh, I'll take 2 of those and 2 of those and 2 of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
give me half a dozen of those. So, you're
Divinity.
spoiled
Oh,
for choice, but
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's lovely
Mhm.
to
I love
try
the
the different
the the
things.
bakeries you could go to where you can buy a slice of this cake and a slice of this cake.
Yes.
That way you get a slice of all those different cakes, so you're not having to buy a whole cake, but you got
Mhm.
a little variety. But my
Yeah.
biggest thing is to go into the candy stores and get divinity.
Yes.
Oh, I love that stuff. I can make it. It doesn't quite come out the same way as it does at the store when you buy it, but
Yeah.
I
I
just
just
go
sip with
right
a
for it.
spoon
Give
and
me
eat it out
vanilla
of the
fudge and
spoon.
chocolate fudge from See's Candy. You got it made. Forget divinity,
I'll
just
get
go
the
right for the fudge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Their vanilla fudge.
look,
Oh my god. And
I have
the
it
nuts
hidden
are
over here so the boys don't get into it.
yeah, yeah.
But I'll buy
Oh,
this
oh.
Oh.
dipping, and it's just
Okay.
little chocolate wafers. You put them in the
Yeah,
microwave, heat them up, and they melt down for
yeah.
dipping. And I'll get peppermint sticks
Oh,
and
oh,
swirl them in the chocolate, then suck on the peppermint stick, and just like
oh.
Yes.
total sugar overload. But
Wow.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Wow.
with you, Maureen. Yeah. Ribbon candy at Christmas.
Mm.
Yes.
yep,
Absolutely.
that too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Really,
grandmother
really.
would buy the styrofoam, Christmas tree shaped styrofoam, and
Mhm.
we would do the little chocolate balls and chocolate bells with the toothpicks, and we
Yeah.
Yeah.
would decorate it. And invariably, she'd walk through the room and she'd be like, "All right, who's been eating the tree? There's
Yeah.
spots missing off of it, you know."
Yeah.
And we're all there with a mouthful of chocolate, going, "Not me."
I don't know who. It was him. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. Those are fun things. And when I had the energy to bake, I I used to do a lot of the traditional Croatian baking, which was not so much cakes but
Mhm.
torts. And a
Mhm.
tort is much lighter
yeah,
in flavor and texture, but generally they'll have 5, 6, 7, 8 layers because they're not
Yes.
big layers; they're thin
Mhm.
layers,
Yeah.
and it takes time to put it together. And when you first start, the first time that I did one, honestly, I thought, oh geez, I just spent hours and hours, and I ruined the whole thing, because yeah, the wafers or whatever when they came out of the oven, they weren't very soft. And I thought, oh,
Mhm.
gee, that's it. That's it. I ruined it. But I thought, well, I'll just put the icing on and I'll just leave it overnight and see what happens. The next day, melt in your mouth.
Oh, see?
Yeah. But
it's like getting a dobage cake. You've got 8,
Mhm.
9, 10 layers, little bitty thin layers, and
yes.
it's like this, almost like a white, creamy type cream frosting that
Mm.
they put in
Yes.
between, and then they'll
Mm.
they'll like put that on the outside, and then they'll pour the chocolate over that and let it harden. And God, it is so good.
I
There's
know.
one bakery here in town that makes the best dobage cakes. It's just like they cost a freaking fortune, but they
Yes.
are oh so worth it.
Nowadays you have to pay a lot because the actual good ingredients cost a lot of money.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
you know,
Yeah.
When
I
you're
mean,
actually
I
putting
cook, I
the
use real butter. I don't use
yeah,
margarine,
that's what I
but I
mean,
find I
using the
don't use
real
as much, yeah.
using really
Um,
good quality ingredients is not it's not cheap, that's for
it's not
sure.
Did
cheap
you
at
ever
all.
notice
No.
when you were a kid that they would make like your mother would put in cocoa and everything and all ingredients and the cakes were heavier.
Yes.
They were delicious,
Yeah,
but it was like they weighed a lot more.
Yes.
And now of course with the mix you have the lighter stuff going in, but there was
Yeah.
something about that homemade frosting. My mother used to make mocha frosting with
She did
leftover
my mother
coffee.
used to make yes, she would take coffee and make
Yeah.
mocha
Yeah,
chocolate frosting that has
yes,
I've never tasted anything better than
I
my
know.
mom.
Yeah.
There you go, girlfriend.
my mother
Yeah.
used to make it would come out. She would whip it until it would be like stiff.
Yes.
But it was made out of egg whites and sugar and a little bit of cream of tartar. And you'd have to cook it to a certain point. I don't remember now on the candy thermometer.
Yeah.
And then she would start whipping
Mhm.
it with and it would, oh my God, it was so good. I've tried making it off and on for years. I never could get it right.
Yeah.
It never did right.
Yeah.
And
7-minute frosting. It was, you really had to, you really
Mhm.
had to watch it. And
Mm.
yeah. And I
I was
agree,
just thinking the
Rose,
other
with
day that
no cream
like I
cheese,
really want
ricotta
more divinity.
cheese in a cake,
Mhm.
in a pie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my brother
I've
loves
had a
cheesecake.
lot with the
And
ricotta, and it's really good. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it takes
Yeah.
it's a gift to be able to bake
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
It
have
didn't
it
get
turn
passed
out
down to me.
right.
I can
I
just make
mean,
the essentials, but boy, my
yeah.
grandmother and my mother, oh my gosh, they were gifted,
Oh
and boy,
yeah.
did I
Yes.
enjoy it.
So was my mother. My mother had
Yeah.
homemade gravy. She would put in the potato water and drippings from the pan
Yeah.
and all this other
Yes.
stuff. And I said, did you write all this down? No, 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 no. You just have to figure it out in your brain. And this is what I do. But it was like she would make a pot of gravy that was huge.
Yeah.
And she would just have gravy on potatoes. She loved it
Yes.
so
Oh
much.
my
And it was
God.
delicious.
Biscuits
My
and
Yes.
mother was
gravy.
the same way with gravy. She could make gravy out of anything, but she
Yeah.
made it was so succulent and
Uh-huh.
delicious. Whether
Yeah.
it's the gravy that goes with pork chops, the white,
Yeah.
gravy, no
Yeah.
matter what she was doing, she was
She'd make it
just
smooth. There was no lumps in it.
oh,
It
it
was
was never
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
and it
get
was
it.
seasoned to perfection. It
Oh,
just tasted
yeah.
delicious.
Now I
Yeah.
gotta
We had a
eat something. I'm
neighbor lady
hungry.
that used to make she babysat us when we were young when we first moved to Florida. And she was a good old down home country cook. And this woman would make biscuits to die for. Oh my God, they
Mm,
would come out light and fluffy and airy, and they just melt in
awesome.
your mouth. And I have
Mhm.
tried for decades to make biscuits from scratch, and they always come out like hockey pucks. But they
I
they
hear you.
literally even
Yeah.
sound like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at doing cakes and stuff, but yeah, I know I'm getting hungry for dessert too, Pam.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might
Well,
be that your baking powder is too old, and you have to look at the expiration date,
I'm
because I
sure,
have to
yeah,
tell
because
you, I used to make them from scratch from high school, and my dad loved them so much, I'd get home and make a batch, and he'd be like, "Can you make some more of those biscuits?" Because it was so easy to mix
Yeah.
the flour and but
Sure.
it has to be fresher, it's not going to make them rise and all that stuff.
yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I
and
would
Oh,
it's
try
like
that
not
Ron.
only every
try that
year
again.
for my kids at school, I would make homemade Christmas cookies, the
Yeah.
frosted, decorated Christmas cookies, sugar cookies. And I
Mhm.
would bring each one of my student workers, I'd bring them a bag full of homemade cookies
Aw,
for their Christmas gift. And I didn't do it this year because everybody in the house has been sick, back and
yeah,
forth and back and forth. And I told them this year, I said, y'all don't want to eat something where we've all been hacking and coughing over it all day
yeah,
long. I'm not
Yes.
going to do that
Yeah.
to y'all. So
a
Yeah.
wise
this year
decision.
I bought them a gift. So
Yeah, Maureen, clever girl, that's what we always used for our baking powder,
yeah,
right,
Yes.
Clabber girl,
yeah,
you got it.
yeah.
Do we have
And
questions this week, Sherry? Do we?
Nope,
No.
no
Okay.
questions.
No.
Okay.
Oh, well then, we're
And
fabulous
we're
for time.
59:50. Perfect
Yep.
Yeah.
to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for sharing
Yeah.
sharing your traditions and memories.
We're not going to be here
Right.
next week, I don't believe, are we? It's Christmas Day, and
Yeah.
we decided we aren't coming, so we'll be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
probably
So
be here on New Year's Day, though. We'll be here
We'll
on
be
Yeah,
New
back
Year's.
on
on New Year's Day,
yeah.
I host Sisters. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
And we'll be rolling in a
Absolutely.
brand new year. So it'll
There
be
you
great.
go.
Yeah.
brand new year.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for coming and
Thank you.
sharing all of your traditions and happy memories. And I love Christmas time. It was my husband's favorite holiday. He would
Yes.
decorate everything, even the bathrooms. Everything got decorated.
Good for him.
And
More
I would
power
have to
to
clean it all
him.
up afterwards. But
Uh-huh.
it's
Somebody's
like
got to
last
do it,
year.
right?
Last
Yeah.
year, I didn't feel like taking the big tree out, so I went and bought a tabletop tree. And then after Christmas, I took all the ornaments and everything off, and it's still sitting right where it was at. All I got to do is put the ornaments back on.
That's right. That's all you got to
Go.
do. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't
Yes.
even done that yet. So it's like, okay, I think I'm going to do the Christmas tree this weekend and
Mhm.
There you go.
try to get us a little bit in the mood around here. And so, thank you
Yeah,
everyone for coming.
Rose Blue's gonna use the cooking bag in the crock
Yeah.
pot for easy cleanup.
Yeah, those are
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
godsends.
do that
I
too.
love those. Yep,
Yep.
Yeah. Put your
absolutely.
turkey inside one of those and you set it and forget it. You don't have to baste. You don't have to do
And this
anything.
is
It
what we're
makes its
talking
own
about.
gravy. It's just,
It's
fabulous.
perfect.
Fabulous.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, thank all of you for coming tonight and
Yep.
spending your time with us. We have
Yes.
55 now, but it was a little bit higher earlier. I think it was almost 70 we had in the room.
Wow. That's great.
That was
Thank you all
great.
for being
And,
here. Yeah.
Thank you.
thanks for
Yeah.
coming and sharing.
Happy
your
holidays
Christmas
to all
time
of
with
you.
us.
May you have a blessed Christmas and New Year.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank
And thank you for
We'll
sharing all
see
your
y'all
ideas with each
here.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Take care. all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.